Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Eric.
I'm Drew.
I'm Barbara, and I'm super hyphy.
And I'm Gus. No, I'm not. I don't know. Barbara, we don't know what that means. Eric may have just tricked us.
Eric taught us that word 2
Hyphy,
seconds
hyphy,
before
hyphy,
going
hyphy.
live. He said, let's get hyphy.
We're gonna get stupid and go dumb. I love
I
it.
don't-
Keek the Sneak. What's up? Shouts out E40. Shouts out Keek the Sneak. What you guys doing? Keep Bay Area locked down. Shouts out the city. What's
I
up?
regret everything. I regret everything right now.
I told you not to say
It wasn't me. It wasn't
It was
me.
a tee up.
It was
Hey,
Barbara.
let's get Eric for the podcast tonight, says Gus. Great choice.
People liked Eric last week.
People like Eric.
People
People like Eric.
People made
it's the new people like grapes.
too many positive comments about Eric on the podcast, so we're gonna drag him down onto our level.
I'm going to say there's
Smart.
not enough
Smart.
good comments about Eric from last week. I think there needs to be more. That's my take.
This should definitely do it and not backfire and harm me. in
Not
any way.
Absolutely
Not at all.
not.
No, should be fine.
He's so little. He's so small.
Are you
Being so
Oh.
little.
Are you being little?
So
Dude, that-
tiny.
Did you see that, Drew?
Interesting.
Did you see that?
Interesting. I'm being very little.
You were ready. You have so many things fucking ready to go.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's so gross. Ugh.
Oh my god. Oh, nothing will make me happier
That's what
than
I'm
that.
talking about, baby. That's how you get hyphy.
I
Yeah,
get
dude.
it.
Drew, how do you know about the I'm little thing?
I don't. Eric just started saying it, and I just assumed it was a thing.
Well, here's what happened. We were filming something. There was a conversation about the size of people, and somebody asked Drew.
Oh.
Drew,
I guess
How-
it
how
was me.
big am I?
Oops.
Yep. And without missing a beat and without knowing what was going on, Drew just looks at it and goes, small, so small.
small.
And it was like, this is perfect.
So
and so we
small.
started, I'm small.
I'm so
little.
little. Yeah, I think I was like looking at my phone. I didn't even look up from what he asked me. Do I look okay on camera? You're small. You're so
I
small.
want that
Yeah, you're
shirt.
great.
I want that shirt so bad. I want that picture of Eric just going like this.
Yeah, it's me being, Barbara, I'm just little. I'm so small.
What?
Look at how tiny I am.
What could you possibly?
Just so
what are
little.
you doing? What is that you're doing with your hands?
Plotting.
Explain
I'm
that to me.
Drew,
Explain
I'm
that to
being
it.
little.
Yeah, what is that though? Are you playing
I'm
a tiny accordion? Is a tiny piano?
No, I don't know what I'm
I,
doing.
I don't.
Just small
Just
to
a
know.
small boy with a secret.
I'm little.
I got too into doing the I'm little motion. I just had a spasm in my neck from it. I went so hard on it
I
that my
don't-
neck
You went-
spasmed.
You went too small.
Yeah.
I don't know that I
little.
can do this. I can't do the small hands.
This, you have to do this.
Okay.
It's fingers together, and then you put it next to your face, and then you put them all bunched together, and then you just sort of like, ooh, I'm so little.
Little.
I'm just tiny is the
Oh,
problem.
but
is
you
I'm
still
so
have to
little
face
and
the lens.
small.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, we're doing it.
Let's see.
Let's see Drew do it.
Well,
That's weird, but
I don't
it's
know.
acceptable.
I like that.
See, nobody likes it when I do. I'm too big
Well,
to be
yeah.
small.
Why were there so many eyebrows?
I'm
You
too
just had
big
like
to
a
be
lot
small.
of eyebrows.
Oh god.
It's appropriate. I feel like eyebrows is. Wait, do you not do eyebrows?
I think you were also too close to your face with the hand motion. It looked like you were playing with an invisible mustache.
Yeah, yours is like in front. It's got to be
Like
to like the
the
side.
cheek.
You have. It's almost like you're hiding. You're just being so small.
I
that you're hiding
can't. I'm
from
too big. I'm too big to be small. You guys. This sucks.
I
just
why are your
had-
hands over there?
Where are they supposed to be?
You look like a bug. Like what?
Just a bear. A bear's making sure that berries are ripe. That's what
Yeah.
my small is. Is this one good?
Oh, that's good.
this
That's
one
yeah,
good?
that's great, guys. Welcome to the 618th episode of this fucking podcast. It doesn't end. It
Welcome.
just keeps
Definitely
going forever.
have not run out of things to talk about.
Too big to be small. Welcome.
No.
I saw a sign the other day. I tweeted about this, and I want to get y'all's opinion. I want to show you something. I was
Bring it
driving
on.
down the street. I stopped at a red light, and I looked over. You know, people put signs on telephone poles at the side of the street, and I saw this sign, and I want to know from you guys, what the fuck does this sign say?
Feel the quality.
I mean, it's
Is
supposed
it
to say feel
No.
the quality, but it says feel the duality.
No, it says feel the duality.
That's an
It's
O.
clearly a D. You can see. No, look at the left side of it.
Feel-
You can see a straight line where the person went like, here's the curve of the D, and then boom.
All right,
little
let's-
straight line
Or
for
is
the
it
big
We're
feel
D.
the
thinking-
ovality?
No,
No,
it's feel the
it's-
quality in the little. So they just either forgot the little cue or it rained a touch,
It was supposed
and
to be
they
the
it
quality.
negated the cue.
The thing is it doesn't make sense. Feel the duality. That doesn't make sense. Feel the quality
Yeah.
makes sense, but feel the uality is not actually a word.
I
But if
did-
we're debating if that's an
Feel
O
the
or a D,
duality.
that's definitely an O in my opinion. Look at the straight line on the T
No.
versus the straight line on the O. Nah.
But-
you can see where it ends, and you can see it's thicker on the left
It is-
side.
well, no,
you
but
can
the-
see that it's thicker on the left side.
But there was a phone number with it. Like that's what's marked out. That's not part of the sign. That was a phone
Right,
number.
That's the phone number.
Okay.
down there. I
Did you call it?
right before we went live? I called
Oh.
that phone number.
And
you feel the
man
uality?
clarify?
The person who answered the phone sounded like the angriest person in the world. It sounded to me like whoever's phone number is on that sign did not want their phone number on a sign. That person sounded so mad when they answered the phone. I froze. And all
So I think it's-
I said was, I think I've got the wrong number, and I hung up.
You didn't even find out what they actually wrote?
I was so small. I was scared.
It's so small.
He sounded mad. It sounded like when your dad is mad at you and you're just like trying to hide.
Can you give us here, Gus? Let's role play. All right, I'm you. You're the guy.
Okay. Hello?
Sorry, I guess I have the wrong number.
That's it. I hung up.
Oh, that was it. That was the whole conversation. He just said
I was
hello
so
and you got scared.
I was so scared I hung up right away. I didn't want to be on the phone anymore at all.
But based on that man's voice, would you say that it was a quality phone call, or was there an element of duality in that phone call
I
somewhere?
felt the duality of being an adult and a little
Yes.
kid at the same time when I called
Feel
that.
the duality,
So
guys.
that's what
It's
it is.
clear as day.
I ran a poll on Twitter, and the option that won was duality. Second place was oality. Quality came in third, which seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
Oality is not even a word.
Duality. That's right. The people voted. They make their voices heard, just like they're going to vote next month. They said, Eric, you're right. It is duality. Eric, you are the people's champion. You know everything, and you're so smart.
Clearly, they were writing quality. They just forgot the. That's it.
Which is not a quality move.
right.
Which was why you need to call that number to feel the quality.
Drew's onto
No,
it.
you have to feel the duality of trying to have quality with no quality. Feel the duality.
I love how every podcast, it's just, what could I bring up to this group that we're absolutely going to be divided on?
Yeah, I mean, that's like my prime reason for taking that photo and then for calling that phone number.
Well, speaking of division, right before the podcast, we were talking about this video we all saw of like some home shopping network where two hosts were arguing about what the moon was.
Oh, is this my tee up?
This is your tee up, Drew.
Hell yeah!
Because apparently their argument was neither of them knew what the moon was. One person thought it was a star, the other person thought it was a planet, and they were like mind boggled that the other person didn't know that was the case about the other thing, and you're like, you're both wrong.
They were so condescending.
Yeah.
I have a theory about the moon, and it is that if you put two people into a conversation about the moon, they will eventually argue. That's the over-under of the entire... So there's four of us here. If we start talking about the moon, we will immediately disagree almost out of the gate.
All right.
About what is there to disagree about the moon?
Why is it out during the day? If it's already also out at night. Get ready, it gets worse. If we see the moon during the day, in the phase that it's in, what does China and Australia see? What phase is it in over there? Number three, if there's a new moon, does that mean that there's a lunar eclipse somewhere on Earth? And I know I sound like a crazy person. I've done a bunch of research. I've looked up shit. I've gone to the Griffith Observatory and seen how the moon moves around objects. But those are
Should we argue them one at a time? Do we have not quite an hour and a half to argue every point you just went through?
What? What? How come? Did you start with how come it's out during the day?
right. How come it's out during the day? If it's out during the day, does the night side not have a moon? Let's start there. Moon out during day, out during nighttime, other side of world.
I mean, if it's on the other side of the world, they have a different view, don't they? Like we're looking in one direction and they're looking in the other direction.
Or do they not have it at all?
You know, I've been doing this podcast for a long time, number of years, and I don't know if I've ever decided to pass on a conversation, but I think now is the time.
I thought you were going to ask me to leave. I honestly thought, like, I was like, I've been on this podcast a long time. I'm going to firmly but insist that you please leave the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass.
So
Enjoy.
You're saying if we have like a waning gibbous,
Right.
then does Australia have a waxing crescent?
Right.
Or is that what
What
you're
are you
asking?
saying? What are these words?
Those are phases of
What
the
do you
moon,
mean?
Gus.
These are moon words, Gus. Clearly these are moon
I
words.
don't know anything about the moon.
What do you mean? You don't know about a waning gibbous?
That sounds like a monkey.
No, that's a waning gibbon.
The thing that trips me up is that we see this like object in the sky every night, or most nights, or maybe not even every. I don't know if it's out every night. Can you guarantee that the moon is out every night? Anyway, we don't know anything about it. Like it's something we've seen our whole lives, but as soon as you start talking about it, people are like, I don't know that.
Yeah, but you're saying it like we're gonna do something about it. Like I don't know anything about birds, but like they're just there. They're just fluttering around and shit.
So all of those questions I just asked, I can't Google because they're too complicated. Like if I type in that whole googly thing, it's just like I don't know, bro. Here's a graph. Here's a graph of how the moon works.
And the
So,
graph doesn't explain it to you?
Not in any real way. I was fingers crossed. I was hoping.
Not in any real way.
I was hoping
Not
that-
to me, a working idiot, but to a scientist, it's very simple.
I was hoping that Barbara was going to have all the answers, but the fact that she's completely tapped out.
Bro, I just like it's you know, my brain is broken these days, but just like living at home and quarantining and stuff like that. And then to now try to wrap my head around this conversation, I think it literally just it became completely unwrinkly now. So I have a softest brain.
Oh wow.
It got real
One
smooth.
smooth.
Wow.
It just made complete smooth brain just now.
Just
it like made me feel sick to think about. Like when I started thinking about a waning gibbous, I started not feeling well. And then you're like, but what does Australia see? And I'm like, I don't know. And I started like going further down a pit. I don't like it. I don't like any. I don't like.
Well,
Speaking of Australia,
You know what? I'm going to state it right here. I'm anti-moon. I'm against it. I say, get it out of here. No more moon.
speaking of Australia, let's go back to an old argument.
Gus, I don't hear you anymore.
What? You don't hear me?
I don't hear Gus anymore.
I muted myself on.
Oh, okay.
I have my Among Us keybinds.
Yeah, I've done that
still set up?
before.
Let me delete those keybinds.
Way to go, man.
Which is probably like you guys
Killing
can
it,
probably
dude.
hear. I don't know, Gus. I don't know if you're about to bring up something else, but on the topic of divisive things, I was reading chat just before we were going live, and it gave me this idea. Which is the regular plate?
No.
Oh no, not this again.
Which is the regular plate?
It's the one on the. It's the one
Barbara,
in your left hand.
Why
It's
do
the
you
bigger
have
one.
different size plates?
One's a salad plate, one's a dinner plate.
Yeah.
I have different plates.
I have one size of plate.
Why?
Yeah, you also have like medium forks, dude. Like I don't know what to tell you. You live in like a weird lifestyle.
I'm
bro.
gonna say the one on camera left, the tiny boy. No, the tiniest boy. That's a lunch plate.
Lunch
and
plate.
The one in your other hand is a dinner plate.
Dinner plate.
Hang on. Shut up. What did you say? It's a lunch plate?
Lunch plate.
Yeah, for
What the fuck?
little
What the
sandwiches.
fuck are you
for
talking
little
about?
sandwiches and like little chippies and stuff. Like it's a little plate for little
Chippies.
things. And then the dinner
What
plate.
is going on? A lunch plate?
Yeah, a little lunch plate.
Yeah, for like a
You pull
sandwich.
it down. A little sandwich plate. Soup salad sandwich plate. And then the other one's like big meat plate.
All right.
For your
I see
big
that.
meat.
See, I just I pick whichever plate I want to use. If I want something, if I'm real hungry, I'll get the big plate. If I'm trying to be portion control, I'll get the smaller plate. And that's basically how I control it. Or if I'm having a sandwich and it's just a sandwich alone, I'll take the smaller plate.
Don't ever call it a lunch plate.
I don't know what a lunch plate is. I think salad plate and dinner plate are I think the official terms, maybe?
That's pretty.
Gus, how do you feel about these
I hate them.
plates?
Just get one plate. That's it. Like the other, what was it? I posted on Twitter a few weeks ago when we were having this argument. I posted a picture of my spoon and the dimensions of my and the tape measure next to my spoon, so people could tell me whether it was a big spoon or a little spoon. And everyone got strangely fixated on how shallow the spoon was and how it didn't hold very much. And there was one dude who was like ride or die in my comments, who was replying to everyone saying how That spoon was totally normal. It was a Korean spoon, and that's how all Korean spoons are. I hate to break it to you, dude. I bought that spoon at IKEA. It's like,
Whoa. So it's Swedish.
I just bought single size spoons at IKEA. That's why I only have one size spoon. I just go to IKEA. I think I bought my plates at IKEA too. Like I don't need all these different size plates. I don't need all these different size utensils. One size spoon, one size plate. That's it. Done.
How
I don't
many
need to
plates-
stand in my cupboard and be like, which one am I going to grab? No, I just
It's
want
not
plate.
a thought. It's
right
not a
there.
thought process like that, though. It's literally just like, okay, what am I eating? All right, this plate will be better for it. It takes like not even a second to decide.
That's a second I could be doing something else.
How many plates do you have in your cabinet?
What does
Gus?
that mean?
How many plates do I have? I
Yeah,
think
is
I
it just
have
2? Like it's just one for you,
No,
one for Esther.
no,
Like that's
I-
your designated plates.
I think we have 8 or 9.
Why do you have 8 or 9 plates?
That's a lot of plates.
I mean, you got to eat lunch and then you got to eat dinner, so you got to have multiple.
2 plates.
Right.
So I feel like your logic's flawed if you're saying you can't have different size plates, but you're going to go out on a limb and say you can have 8 plates.
Right, but it's all the same. You don't like they take up just one spot. You don't have to stack them and then put like another stack of different plates. It's just one stack of 8. You're not gonna put anything on top of the plates, so vertically all the space is already accounted for. And the number of plates you have vertically doesn't matter. It's the number of plates you have horizontally that I'm against.
I stack these on
so
top of
you're-
each other. I go like this.
So-
See, but then if you go to get the one on the bottom, it's annoying because there's one on the top.
I just
So
go
I-
like
Hey,
this.
Gus,
So we've-
Gus, I have big plates and small plates, but I'm going to straight up agree with you right now. I agree with you.
You know,
It is-
it's a
I
good
will agree
point.
I
with you as
don't
well.
like it.
Listen, I like having options in my life. It makes me feel like I have a choice over things, and it's nice. Which plate am I going to use for my sandwich? I get to decide. If I want chips with my sandwich, maybe I'll use the bigger plate because I could put more chips there. Wow, I feel better.
The one thing you control.
Well, guys, check it out. If you want to weigh in on this spoon conversation, you can get the spoon shirt. We have a spoon shirt now. So
That's fucking great.
I love that
yep.
shirt
and then,
so much.
And then after that, it's me and I'm just little.
please.
little.
Stop it.
I honestly I would wear that shirt every day if we made that. Store team, if you're listening, please do it for me.
It's drawn so I have almost like the teeth are intense. I keep looking at it and the teeth make me feel unwell. They're like so
Do it again.
like look at they're all individual.
Oh.
It looks like a
Who drew that?
It looks
Who
like
did
a
that for us?
DreamWorks movie. I don't remember I credited it and I retweeted it and everything. I don't remember who it was.
But those are your teeth, bud. Sorry to break it to you. That's
I
your
think
mouth.
Seam Hack on Instagram did that. But I look at it and the teeth look like a DreamWorks movie where it's just like they're too individual.
Too individual.
Yeah, they're too, like it's a cartoon and it doesn't have to be so, like you don't have to see every tooth. Like you get the idea of teeth.
I
And-
mean, but if that was all one
know.
unitooth, if that was just a unitooth,
That would be
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it'd be gross.
right, but
Also, like,
I'm
that's
also
your-
saying that you don't have to have individually drawn teeth. I think you could get the idea of like, here's like some teeth and then like some like little drawings that are like this designates teeth. I'm not
No,
saying it's a bad drawing by any means. I'm just saying teeth are
I think
weird.
you'd lose the littleness of the shirt if I lost the teeth.
Mm,
I wouldn't feel you wouldn't feel nearly as little.
mm.
Have you guys ever
Gross.
done the baby filter? I believe it's on Snapchat and on Instagram. Have you guys ever used it?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
So
It makes me uncomfortable.
we discovered the other day it fucks your teeth up, and I'm gonna try to see if I could show you guys.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Tilt it down just a hair. There you go.
Oh, like it does it.
Ah.
Oh, it like fucks your teeth up.
Yeah. It makes them like
Stop.
little knobby baby teeth. You can't really.
Ew.
I'm using like a lower quality webcam this week,
I don't
so you
like
probably
it.
can't see it as well. But like, it makes your teeth look like it widens them and sharpens them at the same time. It's really strange.
Yuck.
Make you kind of an evil baby.
Evil baby. Yeah.
The classic
girl.
evil baby.
The
I'm
classic
an
baby.
evil baby.
I'm an evil little baby.
I'm an evil little baby.
Oh no.
Teeth are pretty unusual though. They're like bones that you can
Exposed
see
bones.
outside your body. It's okay when you lose the first ones, but you can't lose the second ones.
Yeah, and then like if you're a rabbit, it'll kill you or something, right? Like
Right.
they grow into like
Any-
their brain or something.
You got to chew stuff.
Any rodents.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
rodents got to keep chewing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Could you imagine losing your, like having to lose your baby teeth as an adult?
No.
I would immediately have an existential crisis.
Yeah.
I would just be like, oh, we're all dying. Like, oh no. Like, I'm so glad you lose them when you're a kid. And you're just like, whatever, they're just falling out of my head. This is great. I get free money. But like, if you had baby teeth as an adult, forget it. I'd lay in bed all the time. She's like, oh, here comes another one.
Do you remember any of the moments when you were a kid when you actually lost teeth? Like, do any of those moments?
Oh,
of course,
100%.
I hated
it. I only
molars.
remember one tooth being lost. Like the other are just, they all blur together. But I remember one in particular because I was watching Titanic in my living room, and I was just playing with one of my loose teeth, and then all of a sudden it just came out, and it was like during a really intense scene, and I was like, I was like way too young to be watching that movie probably because I still had baby teeth that were falling out.
I guess I could speak to this as an adult. I have half a cracked molar in the back, and I've actually lost. There's a molar down. I actually have a fake tooth also because a wisdom tooth grew into a molar and it fucking like exploded it.
Tooth fight.
It was like I took a bite of something and then I went, why is this pizza all gritty? And it was teeth. So I can say, Drew, when you're talking about having an existential crisis, what happens is that your body goes into like almost like panic attack mode where you feel it and you go, that's certainly not right. That's supposed to be permanent. And then you get like these cold sweats and then you everything feels like a little wavy and you go, well, just got to breathe through this for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have weird teeth now. And so I have to get this tooth fixed. But when you're talking about like, playing with a tooth, that's what I do with my tongue with this one that's cracked right now. But like, here's the thing. And when you're talking about what if we could lose them as an adult, I feel like because we can't, we missed out on a lot of cool jackass stunts where you could lose teeth.
Just getting knocked all your teeth knocked out of your mouth.
Technically, you still could.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
we could
right. But you're not, but like knowing that you're not supposed to is like there's like a different like element to that. And I think if you could, and then like they tied a bowling ball to a string and then like tied it to like Dave England's tooth and like threw it over a bridge and like the tooth came out and you knew it was like, it's just a baby tooth. I think there's like a different kind of feeling to it. That's just a top of my head jackass stunt. Just thinking on that one.
It's off the dome.
Feel free to have your own.
Top
it's all
of the
up to
dome.
you.
In chat, Peter H says that teeth on a pizza is still better than pineapple.
Whoa.
It's
That's
not.
a bold claim.
Having had both, I can tell you that I would much rather have pineapple than having my tooth explode in my skull.
Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awful. I have a I guess it's not that bad. Maybe it is for some people who are sensitive to teeth, but I think I've talked about on the podcast before about how I have veneers, right, Gus? Maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
So I have like a few veneers in the front here, and part of the process of getting veneers is they have to shave down some of your teeth so they could put on the veneers. And I remember I had to, mid-procedure, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. And they're like, okay, this is a good time to go. We've shaven down your teeth. We're just going to next step is to put everything on. And I remember when I went to the bathroom, I'm like, don't think about the fact that your teeth are shaven down. Don't look in the mirror because it's going to fucking freak you out. And so the whole time I was just looking down. I knew the mirror was like right in front of me. But the idea that I had like little nubbin teeth in my mouth made me feel like sick to my stomach. And then I just
didn't look?
Did not look. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I could not look.
I feel like you should have at least taken a selfie with your eyes closed and then looked at it when the process was over.
Oh no,
dude.
Barbara, I'm with you. No way. No fucking.
No,
that's
no
like
way.
That's like doing like hallucinogens and like don't look in a mirror. Like that's like you're tempting something there that like those are like greater fates than we are supposed to see. I
also
like
wanna-
it. That's scary.
I also just want to specify, like, I don't actually know, so I'm not 100% saying this as fact, but I don't think they shave it down. Like, I think they just do it enough to get the veneer on. I don't think it's like you have this much of a tooth left, I think it's the majority of it. They just shave it down enough to get it on.
The little like CG videos make it look like they make all of your teeth little pegs.
Yeah.
Like IKEA peg. Like you got a mouthful of IKEA pegs. And then it's like
Ashley Kane in chat said, Barb's teeth are so little.
I hate that this is a
Did
thing.
you feel them? When they were all shaved down, could you like feel them?
No, I couldn't feel them because I purposely like left my mouth like agape so it wouldn't like touch my lips even. But even my breathing, I could feel the breath going through the nubbin teeth.
That's too much.
Yuck. But now I have a great smile because I have fake teeth.
Yeah. How do they feel?
Wow.
Like, you know what? I considered it. I have my teeth look okay. Not great teeth. They're fine.
Yeah, I
come
had some
from a
issues.
long history of family bad teeth. So I'm wondering, like, do you feel like it was worth it? And then how did it feel after you got them? Were you like, these giant fake teeth feel huge inside my little head? Or was it just like, oh, these are fine and normal?
No, it felt completely 100% like my teeth. They also don't really, like, they take molds of your mouth before as well, and they try to make everything fit and be kind of similar size to before. It just feels like now my teeth are just straight. Like I had something called an inverse smile, which is what they told me about, where my teeth were, you know how your teeth go down, they were a slightly out this way. So it gave me a smile that almost went like that. Instead of teeth that are supposed to kind of curve down like this. So it was just basically readjusting the way the teeth were aligned in my gums, essentially, to be more flat rather than push up.
I want to, someone in chat here, I am awesome, says, can y'all talk about something less disturbing like politics or famine? just throwing that out there.
Gus, would you ever get fake teeth?
Sorry.
No, I can't imagine that. My teeth are already huge. Like I got fucking giant teeth. I can't imagine replacing those with something with another tooth. I've always been happy with my teeth. I'm pretty happy with it. I feel lucky I didn't have to wear braces as a kid or anything. They were fairly straight. I mean, they're not perfect or anything, but they're good enough. They get the job done. They can chomp.
Yeah, it was my braces that fucked up my teeth in the first place. Like they obviously weren't straight, which is why I got braces, but I guess they were put on improperly, or something was wrong with the way they were, because that's why my teeth started to go this way out, just because of the way they were. I also didn't, I probably didn't brush as thoroughly as I needed to with braces, so it had permanent staining on some of my teeth too. Like there's a lot of reasons I got the veneers, but
I yoinked my permanent retainer when I was in college. I got drunk one night and got a pair of pliers and pulled it out of my mouth.
Why?
Oh God, dude, you're so
That's
badass.
fucking awesome.
That's some jackass. I say you tie a string to it and a bowling ball and throw it over the bridge.
Right. So my orthodontist kept saying, like, when you turn 18, you don't have to wear a retainer anymore. We'll take it all away. And I was like, great. And I would always like eat shit and then break it, and it would break. And then I'd have to go back in and he'd be like, okay, we're going to glue it in. But when you turn 18, so I turn 18, I go up to Oklahoma, specific orthodontist trip to Oklahoma. I'm like, yo, get this shit out of my mouth because it cuts up my tongue all the time. And he was like, oh, I lied to you your whole life. From the time you were 11 until this day, you'll never get that permanent retainer out. I was like,
What?
Oh, cool.
That's not
so then I went
nice.
home, and then I got drunk, and then just went, and then yoinked it as hard as I could. And it had fallen out so many times that they just kept layering acrylic on top of it. And so after I yoinked it out, I went to the dentist, and the dentist was like, what is all this shit on the back of your teeth? And I was like, oh, it's acrylic. And he was like, we're gonna have to sandblast your mouth, bud. And I was like, all right, whatever, that's fine. So now the back of all of my teeth are real gritty.
To this day?
Yep.
To this day. Still got
See, guys,
gritty
and that's
boys on
what
the
they
back.
mean. That's what they mean when they say you don't know the struggles that other people are going through. And
That's
sometimes you have to consider that everyone has their own things. And sometimes they have gritty back of teeth, and that might be affecting their day or their mood.
Speaking of things that are affecting your day or your mood, I want to ask Drew a question.
All right.
What's up with that hat?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the
This
same
hat?
thing. Yeah, you got a feather in your hat.
I'm vibing on this hat. Me and Eric shot a thing the other day, and I wore it, and he made fun of me for it. And I was like, "Fuck it! If you're gonna be on the podcast, I'm wearing the hat again." He was like, "Fine, do it, coward." I went camping the other day. Hey, look, it's the apocalypse, y'all. I can have a feather in my hat. It's Mad Max style. It's my friend's
yeah.
It's my friend's motorcycle garage. And then we were kayaking the other day, and some wood storks flew out of the woods in front of us on this like private creek, and one of them dropped a feather, and I was like, "Mine." Stuck it in my hat. Called it macaroni. Get bent.
I knew there was gonna be a
He's
reference
just-
to that. I knew it was coming.
He's just from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just from Oklahoma.
That was the other thing Eric kept picking on me about. I was like, look, you can take the boy out of Oklahoma, but you can't take the Oklahoma out of the boy.
I did that once. I wore a hat with a feather in it for a summer once, but I think I was like 16 when I did that.
Deal.
Gus, do you have a picture? Do you have a picture of your hat with a feather in
that
it?
was back in the 90s. I mean, you'd have to get like a film camera. There's no pictures of that.
This isn't my only hat with a feather in it, by the way. I have other hats with feathers in them. It's just my vibe. It's my vibe. It's
I
what
like
do.
it.
Aren't there like
Dude, it's a fashion trend. I think it's a
Yeah.
new fashion trend that you're gonna start, and I
aren't there
love
like
it.
nits or parasites or something in there?
Mhm.
Who's
Yep.
to say? It was in the creek. It was fine. I washed it. We're good.
It was in
Oh,
the
you washed it.
creek.
You're fine. You washed it. He's
in the
fine.
creek. Right.
When you
It's
say
fine.
when you say you
Well-
washed it, do you mean you rinsed it with water?
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
Creek. Well, no,
In the
not even
creek.
that. I just like it fell in the creek. I just pulled it out of the creek and was like,
Okay, maybe like wash it.
You didn't
Like,
even
with
wash
some
it.
soap.
You blew on it.
yeah, it's fine.
You keep saying, I washed it in the creek. I washed it in the creek. Like a regular person. It's very nice.
Look,
I'll wash
not
it in
all
the
of us-
damn creek and then I
not
stuck it in
all
my
of us-
hand.
Not all of us can be little. Some of us have to also be redneck. Okay? Some of us have to have other vibes.
Drew, I need now. We know what the I'm little is. We need now we need a thing for I'm big. We need a hand gesture and a little and a thing for I'm big. If this is I'm little.
Drew
Is it not just
Drew is your man for
What?
this.
yeah?
What?
I'm.
Are you a bear?
Is it not that? That's it. I'm big. I'm too
I'm
big.
big.
No, you gotta go. I'm big.
I'm big. I'm too big. I can't fit. I'm too big. No, it's the little sad. It's sad bear hands. It's the little. I can't. Why not? Too big.
Too
I
big.
am-
That's,
Your voice also goes deeper. Too
I feel like this is like a sad zombie. Like
no, it's a sad, little sad
here
bear.
I come.
It's like if there's like okay, we're at a picnic. There's like a rock crevice over there, and there's some like really sweet honey in like a hive. And I'm a really big bear. And you ask me like, hey, do you want to go grab that honey? Can't. Too big. See, works.
Hang on. Why are we at a picnic? What
A bear
happened?
picnic. I got lost on the. Look, man.
We're at a bear picnic?
Yeah, a bear.
And I'm
a
asking
teddy,
you.
a teddy bear picnic.
A teddy bear picnic. That sounds like the name.
To a teddy bear picnic.
I want to write a children's
It's an old
novel
song.
called The Teddy
Do you
Bear
not
Picnic.
remember the like? That's the way that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't sing. I forget. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
man.
song though.
I got you.
Oh, boy.
I love it. I
Whew.
love it
Speaking
so
of
much.
honey, I watched a really depressing documentary over the weekend because why not? It's 2020.
Was it Honeyland?
It was Honeyland. You've seen it?
Oh yeah, it's so good.
It's so good,
And sad.
but it's so sad. It's like this woman who lives in Macedonia who raises bees using like traditional methods. Like you follow her life, and it's like it could be 400 years ago as far as this woman's life's concerned for the most part. And then like this family moves in near her and then fucks up her business, and then that's the whole
Did you-
documentary.
Did you think halfway through that it was scripted?
It
Because
was
about halfway through, I got real confused.
I watched a trailer and I was like, this doesn't look like a documentary. This looks like
Like they used non-actors and scripted it,
right.
but it's not. It's so weird. And like, apparently, I was doing some research on it. They were out there for like 4 fucking years,
Right.
Just like hanging out with this lady in her hut, hanging out with the bees, hanging out with the weird neighbors who were collecting the bees.
Yeah, I read they filmed 400 hours of footage and they did not
Yeah.
speak the dialect of Turkish that they spoke. So they had no idea what was happening until they got back into the editing bay and had a translator go through all the footage.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah.
What an awakening!
It's a wild ride.
The documentary wasn't even going to be about her. They were going to make an environmental documentary. And then when they were out scouting locations, they just came across her and decided to film her for a few years and then came out with this documentary.
Oh my
It's
god!
crazy.
They just decided to film a person for a few years?
Well, I think they probably thought it was interesting to begin with. And then it's like they just kept going back and they just kept doing it. They just kept filming.
Yeah,
we-
it's. Go ahead.
No, go for it. I was
Oh,
gonna.
I was gonna say it's the Honeyland documentary and that one about falcons. I can't think of the name of,
Oh.
but that it's called like the Choice or
Is
something.
that it? I think that's what it's called.
Those 2 documentaries were insane to me. I can't believe they got made in like the last 2 years. Anyway,
What's
Where-
the
where-
one about falcons about?
Where could you watch it? This Honeyland, you said it's called
yeah,
On Hulu.
Hulu.
Hulu. Okay, cool.
The
What's the one about birds?
it's just these like I think it's Saudi Arabia, right, Gus?
Yeah.
They're Saudis and they just have a shit ton of money. The movie starts where this man pulls up in like a gold Lamborghini and he walks to the passenger side of his car, opens the door, lets his pet cheetah in. They sit in the front seat of this Lamborghini and then just blast ass through the desert.
Yeah!
It's the
Oh
and then
my
that's
God.
that's the
Awesome.
first 2 minutes, and then they have like at one point they rigged the tiniest camera onto the like falcon's head, and you don't understand what you're watching for a little while, and then eventually you realize it's everywhere the Falcon is. What the Falcon's seeing is what you're seeing. So you keep seeing like it turns its head really fast, and you're like, whoa, and then like shit comes into focus, and like it's. I don't think it's called The Choice. I'm trying to think of what it's actually called, but it's Honeyland and that one are like.
If you watch it and like it, are you pro-choice? All right, I'll see you guys later. It's been fun.
That was great.
Oh, I actually
love
took my
it.
headphones
That
out, so
was
I can't
awesome.
hear if you're talking to me. I should leave those in.
Oh, the challenge.
The challenge.
Oh. Is it sad? Like, am I going to be sad about like the cheetah or the falcon, or can I watch it and be like okay with it?
No, I think you'll be okay with it. Like, if you think too hard, you'll get a little sad because it's like cheetahs shouldn't be pets.
Trust,
but
Drew.
like,
Drew, let me stop you right there. Never been an issue. Never going to be
then have fun.
great.
The challenge.
So I feel like, Eric, I need to tell you, I started listening to Fuckface. I'm sorry, I don't have a beeper.
You mean you started listening to face?
Yeah, you have it too
Wow.
now. Great, everyone but me. And I got to, I think it was episode 2, where Jeff was talking about how he started to record his farts and send them to people. Obviously, this was months ago that this conversation was happening, but I was just listening to it recently while I was painting my office this weekend. And I messaged Jeff, and I say, "Hey, I just started listening to Fuckface. I'm sad I never received a fart from you." And then I receive a voice memo that's titled "Brussels sprouts and garlic," and he said, "My most recent, all yours." And then I was like, "This is perfect."
Can you play it?
Absolutely, yes. Let me make sure my
Cool.
audio is
Good.
up
All right.
here. Here we go. All right, this is Brussels sprouts and garlic. Jeff, if you're watching this or watch this on video on demand after, I'm sorry I shared your private moment with the world, but here we go.
That's a classic.
It's a two-parter.
That's good. That's good.
Oh man, yeah. I said this is perfect. The title, the laugh at the end. It's your best work yet. And he said, "Thank you. I was pretty proud of it." Emily, his girlfriend, for some reason made garlic pasta, roasted garlic tomatoes, and garlic Brussels sprouts and broccoli. It was the worst smelling one of our lives. Man.
So if you haven't checked out Fuckface, it's mostly that.
In
But
chat,
then also it's other people who won't eat a pencil.
Yeah.
Sombris
I've
says that this sounds like the best cameo ever. Custom Jeff farts.
Oh,
It needs to be a soundboard.
Yep. Dude, I would pay good money for custom Jeff farts. I got that one for you. All got that one for free.
wow.
first
Yeah,
one's
you got
always
the
free.
first taste is free. The first taste is free, and now you guys you're gonna want.
Don't use the word
coming back
taste.
for more.
Do not use the
Not
word
taste.
taste when you're
No.
describing that.
But it's been nice though. I just started listening to Fuckface because I've been painting my office all weekend, and it's nice to like listen to something to pass the time. Guys, I don't know about you, but painting, I tweeted about this yesterday. It's a full body workout. Shoulders, back, legs, neck, like everything just feels stiff and tired and sore. It's a lot of work. Man.
You get the rollers. You're just doing brush
Oh
only.
no. Well, I'm doing so. I'm priming and then doing paint, and a lot of people are like, "You could get paint with the prime in it," and I was like, "Yeah, but whatever. I don't know if it's available for every color, whatever." But it's also like you got to first prep the room, which is like the plastic and the taping and like making sure all the corners are covered and all this stuff, and then you got to go in with the primer and edge everything, and then you got to paint all the primer on, and then you got to
lots of edging, huh?
so much edging this weekend, man. Let me tell you. And then you got to do like wait for that to dry, and then you do the paint edging and the painting, and then wait for that to dry, and then do a second coat. So it's just like so much work.
Did you get done or no?
No, I still have to do my second coat. It just got too late in the day, so
I assume that's why you're in a different location.
that's why I'm in my my dining room right now, and I had to cover this with a blanket so that the light wouldn't be super bright behind me. It's all cobbled together real quick. So
Speaking of podcasts, I got something really cool sent to me the other day by someone who listens to Black Box Down. They sent me parts of a plane that were involved in a crash.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
how did they get those?
Parts?
It's labeled on the back. I don't want to like give too much information about it.
Okay.
But yeah, someone someone sent this. It was like a cargo plane, and everyone survived. And there were no fatalities on it. But I thought it was like super cool that someone.
How did they come by it? What's the?
I don't want to say too much in case like they get in trouble or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean the story. Like I know it sounds like a creep. Like maybe it's just pieces of metal, but it's verifiable based on the information that I looked up.
Wow. Did you ever think that you would come into possession of something like that? Like you own a piece of a crashed plane
That's
now.
crazy. I own part of a 747.
That's so cool, dude. That's so cool.
Do you know what part it is? Like, do you know what part of the plane it's from?
I have a good idea. Yes. I don't want to say 100% for certain, but yeah, there's a good idea of where it's from.
Wow.
That's really cool, but also like kind of dark. You know?
Like I said, everyone survived. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the case.
I get it. It is kind of dark, but at the same time, like Gus has a whole podcast about it. You know what I mean? So
true.
like, you know, it's like if it's gonna get sent to someone, I don't want it.
On brand.
Don't send it to me.
Is that like
Send
Are
it to him.
Are you gonna make like a little shadow box out of it, or like are you gonna like hang it somewhere?
I need to do something with it. Yeah, I was thinking a shadow box. I was thinking maybe it would go like in the spot, right? There's like a blank spot on the wall. I might try to fit it in there. So we'll see. It's a project to do while I'm stuck at home.
That's really cool.
Unable to go anywhere, do anything.
Yeah. We're gonna be shooting some stuff at the studio in person over the next few weeks here and there, you know, like with Dead Little Roosters coming up and whatnot. And we're working with a team that like specializes in COVID safety and all that stuff. So a bunch of us have to get tested. And I think this is going to be my third COVID test now for production. And I am, man, that little brain swab. Have you guys had it done yet at all?
I'm about to have my first one because I need to, go for some production. So I'm about to have my first one coming up here. I'm curious to see how it goes. Do you have any advice or tips on how to get it done?
Yeah, so I asked the guy who did my first test because I was so anxious and nervous about it because I've heard multiple stories. Some people say it tickles. Some people say it was like the most painful thing in their life. The guy told me like most people think that you should hold your breath, but he said actually swallowing during it helps because you'll feel just a little tickle kind of at the back of your throat, oddly enough. So just like I personally didn't tilt my head all the way back. I just kind of like tilted back far enough that they could get it in and just like have my mouth open so I could breathe and swallow. And the first test felt like nothing at all. The second one, it was almost like they were trying to dig something out of my nostril. And I was just like, that's not as fun. So I guess it all depends on who administers it.
It does. It's definitely person to person specific to do this. I've had it twice. It's fine. It's all the fun of having water up your nose without ever having gone in a pool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like getting out of a pool every time.
Yeah. It's just like if you like cannonball and like water goes up too hard, it just feels like that. But it definitely depends person to person. Like the first one was just like, okay, put it there, hold it 5 seconds. They take it out. It's easy, whatever. The second person was like scratchy on the inside of your brain.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, but it's not bad. And then it just like your eye waters for like a little while and it's fine.
It just feels like you got water up your nose.
I do want to expand a little bit on what Barbara said there. Like we do have a couple of things we're going to film, but it's like all very distanced and safe.
Yeah.
There's like an
one
independent
person in,
company.
one person out.
Yeah, that monitors all the distance and the mask usage, and everyone gets tested, and very limited amount of people around. It's going to be very safe. We've been very diligent about it. You've seen us be very diligent about it over the past 7 months. We're not just going to willy-nilly stop that.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it before on another episode of the podcast, but when like we did it for that Face Jam snackening thing for at the end of RTX, and like I can't say enough how strict it was when we were already in there and knew we tested negative. Even still, it was like, keep the distance. There was somebody monitoring everything. We had to make sure that we were all spread out. It was like, it's full on. It's a strict production piece. It's not, we're not just like kind of going in there and then like licking each other's mouths. It's, it's full on separation.
That's actually the production
nice to
next
see
week.
people, but
Right.
Finally we can lick each other's mouths.
Yay!
Hooray!
I just want to make out. I just want to make out with all my friends. Finally, now's the time.
I had a really weird thought over the weekend. Yesterday, I was getting out of my car, and I was and my car door. You ever do that thing where you don't open your car door all the way and it kind of like swings back in a little bit? That happened to me as I was getting out of my car, and my car door kind of hit me in the face, but it only hit my glasses, and it knocked my glasses off of my face.
Ooh.
And my glasses fell on the ground and broke. And my immediate thought was, oh no, my mom's gonna kill me. And then I was like, wait a minute. Like,
How old are you?
yeah,
You're an
I'm an
adult
adult.
man.
I bought these glasses. It's fine. But it's funny, like, how, like, deep rooted that is. It's, like, still inside of me. It was like my first thing was, oh, I don't want to get in trouble.
Did you get in trouble
I'm
a lot
so
as
little.
a kid then? I'm
So little.
What's that, Barbara?
Did you get in trouble a lot as a kid? Like, is that such a visceral reaction because it's
No.
it's-
I was a good little boy. That's why I don't want to get in trouble.
I don't want to ever hear that from you again.
Gus was mommy's good little boy.
Good little boy.
Mommy's good little boy.
But I've been
Guess
wearing
what?
glasses since I was 10 years old. Like, I started wearing them when I was
jeez.
really young. So it's like, I think it was always the thing. You never wanted to break them or have anything bad happen to your glasses.
I just think it's crazy that your car is bullying you.
I know.
It's like, that's pretty
I
fucked
thought
up.
that's where the story was going. It was like, the Tesla's so smart that it's not bullying you on the road.
Give me premium electrons, nerd.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's funny how I mean that stuff stays. It's like this, it made me think about like having nightmares about missing a test or like all the shit you think or you worry about when you're little and the stuff that scares you. It's like, oh, still happening.
Like, do you still get stress dreams? I haven't had like a school stress dream in like a really long time, but I'll have work stress dreams, but they aren't founded in anything. It's just a thing where it's like, oh no, we didn't pick a restaurant that we're supposed to eat at for Face Jam and we're going right now. And I'll dream about that, but then I'll wake up and for like half an hour, I'll be like in that mode of like, well, where are we going to eat? What does Carl's Jr. have anything? Like, does that happen to you guys or am I just brain fried?
I have stress dreams about this podcast about like, oh shit, it's 4:59 and I forgot to ask anybody to be on the podcast this week.
Just you this week.
Like stuff like that. I'll definitely have.
Oh man. Yeah, I still have like RTX stress dreams creep back up here every now and then, even though Gus and I haven't co-directed RTX in years at this point. But it's just like anything you work on that you have a lot of pieces to put together and worry about, that all just like that weighs on your brain so heavily. So like every now and then I'll have a little flashbacks of planning RTX, especially like when we did the virtual RTX and knowing like how much work was going into that. And I was like, whew, man, I do not miss that stress that came with that, but it was fun. It was a fun thing put together though.
I definitely had a lot of stress dreams about that at the time. It's been even for a few years after, but it's been a little while since I've had one of those. So I feel fortunate about that.
I fixed a scheduling error on Bloodfest in my sleep once. I like woke up out of a dead sleep and I was like, wait, we can shoot Tuesday. That'll work for everybody's availability. And then like went right back to sleep and like woke up and like and then like finally woke up and went into work and was like, was that there? Hey, that actually worked.
Do you guys ever have dreams that are so realistic that even when you wake up, you still think that that is the reality? And then it takes you like a few minutes to regain kind of consciousness and realize like, wait, that's not real. I feel so happy now knowing that's not the case. Like, holy, it's like such a relief that comes over your body.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time. And when you say a few minutes, that is, I wish it was a few minutes. I'm spending like solid half hours.
Holy shit.
Of like being awake and stressing out like, oh no, I told Nadia I was going to have this done and now sales is going to have my ass for like half an hour. And I'm really like laying in bed, like putting pieces together. But then I go like, what am I going to do? And I fall back asleep. And Barbara, I'll wake back up like an hour later and just like, I'm right back into that mode of like, what am I going to do to fix? I won't sleep well the rest of the night.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude, that sucks.
And then it hits me at like 4 or 5 and I go, that's a fucking bullshit. What am I doing? And then I just go back to sleep and it's fine. I don't know what, it's not like I'm ever stressed. Trust me, with like other jobs that I've had compared to this one, the stress level on this job is like a minimum. It is like, so I enjoy everything that
It's
I'm
fun
doing
stress.
to a degree, it is. It's like, hey, I want to make sure the shoot goes well or whatever.
Right.
And then like I have to concoct things that aren't happening or are related to anything in my brain in order to be stressed. It's like, it sucks.
So do you know?
I'm a mess.
Do you know what time you wake up the first time is? Because I was talking to my therapist about this similarly the other day, and there's a time that he gave me. I want to see if it matches the time that you're thinking.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I when it happens to me, because it's happened a few times, usually it's like that 1:30, 1:45 time.
Okay.
Like 1:45 feels like that time when it's like, I've woken up.
So like, you know, the witching hour, like 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Mhm.
Apparently, people with anxiety wake up during that window, and it's like pretty ubiquitous. If you go to bed at midnight, you're going to wake up around 4 o'clock, and it's because that's when. And this might all be like, fact check me. I'm not a doctor, but that's when your brain produces cortisol to like replenish the cortisol for the day. So like the stress hormone.
Whoa.
And so that's when it's doing that while you're asleep. And so you wake up and like freak out.
I thought it would be like that's your time when you like evolution wise, you're conditioned to wake up and make sure nothing's eating you. You're like,
Well,
am I still in one piece? Am I still okay?
There's also this other theory because like in the Middle Ages they would call it second sleep. Like you'd sleep for you'd sleep for half the night, wake up for 1 hour, which is usually when people would do it or read a book, and then you'd go to sleep for the rest of the night, and then that was just how it was. Sleep was in 2 blocks.
Yeah.
And so that you might also be waking up at that time for that reason too.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
both are right,
I like it.
but yeah, my sleep life
I'm gonna start.
is as conscious as my like waking life. It's a job. It's a chore to be asleep. I'm just constantly dreaming.
I almost never dream.
Yeah, same.
Really?
Same.
Yeah. I almost never ever dream. The only time that I dream is when I have that and it's like a weird stress thing. But otherwise, I don't remember the last time I had a cool dream or an interesting dream or whatever, which is fine because I hate when people tell me their dreams.
Well, I'm about to tell you my dream, Eric.
No,
Barbara, did I tell the story about the dream I had with Chris Damaris during were we recording something or was that just like downtime? We were just like in a meeting and I told the story.
I don't think you told it. I mean, I also don't know what the dream was.
Oh, you weren't there. I think we were filming something that you weren't in.
Is this a dream?
But anyway, I had a dream with Chris a few nights ago.
Wake up, Barbara.
I dreamt that it was a stress dream. I had to go perform a wedding ceremony. I had to like perform the ceremony for someone, but I was late, and Chris was going with me. And then as we were driving to the wedding, I realized I never wrote the ceremony. I was like, oh shit!
Oh,
I've got
you
to do
did
this wedding
tell us
ceremony.
this.
I don't know what I'm going to say.
In private, though. I don't think you said this on a podcast, so you're good.
So we were driving, and then at that moment, the car breaks down. So Chris and I need to run to the wedding. And I'm like, we're both running to the wedding, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say, but I can't write because I'm running. So I'm like trying to write, but can't. We're running. We get to we get to the wedding venue, and like I guess like a wedding planner, whoever meets us at the door. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, and I'm like trying to very quickly scribble down some notes, and I turn around, and Chris has like a giant pot of stew, like 7 or 8 feet in diameter.
I don't
And
think
I'm
you
like-
mentioned this part to us.
And I was like, Chris, what is that? And he's like, it's my Russian wedding stew. I make it and I bring it to every wedding I go to. And I look at it and there's like fermented, moldy, rotten pieces of bread in the stew.
No.
And I'm having to tell the wedding planner, like, I'm sorry about my friend. He brings this stew to every wedding he goes to. And Chris is like trying to make room at the wedding buffet to like put his giant pot of stew down. And I'm just like, meanwhile, still trying
this
to
is
write
realistic. This is realistic.
It is.
This all tracks.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, Gus, you're the only person I think that is allowed to share their dreams with me from now on because this sounds like an actual experience.
Yeah.
It was I saw someone in chat says you can't write in a dream. I felt like I was having a lot of trouble writing. Like it was like I couldn't like it was really like my hand was trembling a lot and I couldn't make the letters. Like I was really having a lot of difficulty writing it down. It was weird.
That is so. I mean,
If
that's so
Russian
that's so
stew-
character.
Yeah, right? Yeah, like that, man, that tracks. Like if all of a sudden it was like Brandon Farmahini and he was telling me a story and he was like, and Chris brought his Russian wedding stew, it would be like, yep,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Because he thought it was like a potluck wedding, so he brought it.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Wasn't there a story of Chris showing up to some party like a week before it was scheduled or something like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Like he came to the person's house and knocked on their door.
No, he went to. It was supposed to be everyone meeting at a brewery, and then he came. It was a silly hat party, so he showed up in a cowboy hat and walked around the entire place, and no one was there. It was just Chris in his Terminator sunglasses and cowboy hat.
Oh my god.
And then like messaged the group, and he was like, "Hey, I'm a week early." And then he texted me, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? You want to hang out?" It's like, let's hang out.
Obviously, before lockdown times.
Oh, this was like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a while ago.
Remember friends? Remember places?
Yeah.
Remember hugs
Oh man.
I
with
don't.
people who aren't your significant other?
I don't miss.
I'm good.
I don't miss hugs. I miss bars. I miss going to a bar.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do not hug me. Give me a jukebox and a whole bunch of beer, and that's all I'm looking for. I miss Violet Crown. I want to go sit in a dark bar and just keep drinking cheap beer. That's all I
Do
had.
not hug
a real
me.
hankering for it. Yeah, do not hug me. I'm little.
Do not hug me.
So one thing you can go out and do that's starting tomorrow here in Texas. Early voting starts tomorrow here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Vote.
I'm gonna drive by a polling place tomorrow, but I doubt I'm gonna get down and vote. I think it'll probably be super crowded tomorrow. I'll probably wait
so?
a couple of days and go and get
There's
that done.
a good amount of locations in Austin though to vote, right? There's
But they're all changed from the normal locations.
Oh
Like,
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
like make sure if you live in Austin or no matter where you live, I guess, look up the list of polling locations near you, because in Austin they are not at all the same places that they normally are.
No.
That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Like it's totally different. And
Did you hear?
I think.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was
please.
gonna say, did you hear about? I just read the news earlier this morning. Apparently, there were fake drop-off ballot boxes placed in California by the GOP.
Yep.
That's insane to me. That's insane. How is that? How are your asses not in fucking jail after doing something
Right.
like that? That's insane.
I mean,
So yeah, if you're dropping off your ballot, make sure it's a legitimate place.
make sure it's in the right place. Yeah, and in Texas, the governor's trying to restrict it to where every county can only have one place to drop off your
Didn't
ballot.
they deny that?
They did
Yeah,
the-
but I mean, it's fucked up. If,
It's fucked up. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So don't think your vote doesn't matter, because people are trying to stop it. So please go out and vote.
Vote harder.
Yeah, it's the only thing. It's the only thing they can't fuck you over on. That's
I mean-
why they keep trying to fuck you over on it. Like,
right.
that's why it's trying to be underhand. Like, it's just across the board. That's why it's this underhanded, dastardly thing, because they can get their little Weasley hands on everything else. But for some reason, you voting is the thing they can't prevent. So I guess go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll-
And I'm not going
They're
to
trying
say
to prevent
like,
it.
hey, they are. So that's why you have to go out and vote. And I'm not going to be another person who's like, hey man, check it out. Voting's cool, because it's not. Voting is not cool. Voting is fucking boring, and being informed is fucking boring. And it doesn't matter, because it's the only thing they don't want you to do. The only thing they don't want you to do is vote. They want you to not vote so fucking bad. Like, they want you to just go like, no, it's fine. Like, I don't need Kyle Kuzma to tell me, he's like, what's up? I'm with Los Angeles Lakers player Kyle Kuzma. And I say, go out and vote. It's the cool thing to do. I don't care. It's to me, it's sticking it to someone. It is like these people are like, they want me so badly not to vote that I feel like I have to do it to just be like, yeah, fuck you.
You.
I'm gonna fucking vote. I'm gonna fucking show you.
Do most states have early voting, or is it like only a
yeah.
portion? Okay.
I think
mix.
most of them. I don't know if all of them do, but I think most of them do.
Okay. Well, if you're watching and you live in the United States, I would recommend, if you can and you feel safe, vote early and in person, because I feel like that is the safest way to make sure your vote gets counted.
Surefire.
Develop a plan for it,
Yeah.
and act on it.
Just it could be the time where you see your friends, where you stand 6 feet apart and you wait in line to go do early voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you and your friends that you haven't seen in a while, you go meet at 2:00 at the one place, and then you can talk to each other while you're in line, just not close. And then that's great. You saw your friend, you hung out for 35 minutes while you waited in line, and then you voted to fucking show them that you could do it. Not because Kyle Kuzma said, hey, go vote. Get you
I
Kyle
just want to say
Kuzma.
in chat, Lola Minotti says Snoop Dogg wants you to vote too.
Whoa. If
But
Snoop
that's
Dogg.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, stop. Voting's not
I
cool.
didn't say-
Why does everyone
I
keep
didn't
doing
say
this? It's
I didn't
not
say
cool.
voting
It's
was
not
cool.
He
You
he-
said Snoop Dogg's
I said
cool.
Snoop Dogg's
that
cool.
vis-a-vis
It's transitive property. It's transitive property.
It's exact. Drew's exactly right. He's a math guy.
I know math.
I know math.
I'm just saying, Snoop Dogg's cool. That's it.
I am
That's my hot take.
I know math.
Snoop Dogg's cool is your
That's
hot
it.
take.
I know. That's what you come here for. You come here for Gus's hot takes, and that's my hot take of the week. Snoop
Is
Dogg.
Drew,
Damn, I like
Drew, are
it.
you frozen for just me, or is it?
I think I'm frozen.
At least you're doing like a
Drew,
nice kind of half
no.
smile.
Drew, let it go.
There,
Do you get it? Do you get the let it go?
Oh, he's coming
Oh,
back. He's coming back
He's
to
moving.
life.
Oh,
That's cool.
oh. See how hard it is. There's no way to.
Truly the new slow-mo guy, Drew.
You've heard of 10,000 frames a second, but have you heard of 1 frame every 4 seconds?
Oh, that's a great one. Ooh, I'm up.
Oh,
We're just losing him.
Guys, we have to throw Drew off the boat. Drew's
He
done.
turned into a robot. Drew
Goodbye.
acting kind of sus.
Drew bot.
goodbye.
Damn. Oh, now he's back.
We played some more Among Us last week, and that Dead by Daylight video finally came out as well. Was that like the other day, yesterday, the day before?
It came out, I believe, on Saturday for first, and then Sunday for the public. The Dead by Daylight playthrough we did.
I'm glad that video's finally out. And again, I haven't watched our Dead by Daylight gameplay yet, but I did watch our Among Us stream. Again, it's like another 3-hour long stream. Like, I'm gonna watch this entire thing.
It's so
I have to see-
entertaining.
I have to see the other perspective. Even though like I was in those games, and it was like I still have to see what everyone else was doing.
It's also just funny
I don't
seeing
know
people's
anything-
reactions.
Who did you play with?
Oh, we had a lot
It
of
was-
us, the Derp crew.
The Derp Crew, which is Chilled Chaos, Z Royal King, Z Royal Viking, and then Galm. And then we also played with Connor from Inside Gaming. They're awesome. Everyone is awesome. I love that whole group. And then I think, it was those 4, and then me, Blaine, Chris, Gus, and John.
Yeah.
So it's nine of us
cool.
total. That's the thing about that game.
Wow, that's a good
You
group.
need, like, for that game to be really good, you need at least 8 people. I would say, like, maxing out at 10 is ideal because that's the most fun. But, like, it's hard. You can't just, like, I want to play Among Us right now because you need to find 7 friends.
I tried to play a random game online with strangers, and I got called a bunch of racist words, and I got kicked from a game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, the servers online are just like I don't know how anybody could do that and live up to that
it's like,
torture.
I'll just play with people I know. I do not need that.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something before, Drew? I think I might have cut you off.
I was gonna say I don't know anything about Among Us, but also I know that it requires lying. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah,
And
requires
I-
lying.
Oh, am I still glitching? Great, this is great. The only time, every time I'm on camera, it's like every 4 seconds. Neat.
Oh, that's great. Well, here, let me know if I'm lying. Drew, you're doing a great job. You look and sound great. Thank you so much.
Beautiful lying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Among Us is basically you're all people, you're all things on a ship, and 2, depending on who you're playing with, it's either 1 or 2 people are imposters, and they have to sabotage things and kill people without being discovered as the imposter. And nobody knows who is who, and sometimes you'll see someone kill someone and clearly that'll be the person, but then it's a whole like mind game because if you find a body, you can report it, and then everyone stops and then talks about it. And, there are situations where someone's like, oh, I saw Eric kill that person. And then Eric could be like, I saw Barbara kill that person. And it's just like, oh, but then you have to weasel your way out.
J'accuse.
Yeah. It's a lot of j'accuse.
I would never.
You would absolutely.
No, not me.
Because you're too little.
Too small.
It's so fun.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't understand how you don't understand it.
No, it's not that I don't understand it. I do it, and then I do it wrong, and then now I'm 4 frames a second. So I'm going to be frozen that way until I'm dead.
It's not the worst way to be frozen.
Is it in front of your mouth?
Why do you?
I don't understand how you don't understand
What
it.
about
your
this?
cheek?
Is in like what's up with you? Like what is
Right,
up?
okay,
What
so
is
it
this
was
that's in front of my mouth?
Side of the mouth, shoulders this way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big.
and
Look
then
how big my
it's
shoulder is.
like you look gigantic.
Yeah, they're
I don't
too
like it.
big. And then
What do you do? Why does it keep
Wait,
going in front of your mouth?
What, are you playing a little harmonica?
See?
What's happening there?
See? Too big. And then I do this. Then you go, too big for that.
Too big.
Dude.
I can't do that.
What?
What's medium size?
I'm a big old
I'm
bear.
medium
Yeah,
size.
what's medium? Oh, that's very good.
I'm medium. I'm medium.
We have all these different sizes. It's
I
great.
watched SNL on Saturday, obviously, and at the very end of the show, they do that thing where everyone's on stage and they're like wave goodbye and the credits are rolling, and Jack White was a musical guest, and I was watching, the credits go by, and I was like, wow, Jack White looks like a giant. How tall is he? He's like towering over everybody on the stage. So I looked it up online, and according to Google, he's 6'2". And I was like,
What?
I'm the same height as Jack White, and you look like a giant on stage towering over everybody?
But also, like, in my head, Jack White is like the tiniest little man who plays the guitar. Like, he's just like...
He's little.
No.
Yeah, he's a little man.
No, he is not little. He is big. I'm big.
Too big.
It's all just
It's
all just comparison, right? Like you're either little or big if you are compared to something else. But by yourself,
or
I
relative.
mean, yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah. I thought his set on SNL was pretty good. He played Ball in a Biscuit and like
Smoking a pan.
I thought he
all the hits.
he did great. he did great stuff. It's good for him.
Yeah.
Good for you. There's nothing. I mean, who's watching SNL other than Gus? I guess.
I watched last week's. The laugh track freaks me out. Has anybody talked about that yet? Like hearing in a live audience.
I have people in there.
Everybody got tested and they're all in there, but like not having a live audience for anything for 9 months, and then hearing a live audience in SNL, it was just like,
yeah.
It was real. It felt like I was watching something from 1984, like the year, not the book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just picked a bad year. I
was gonna say
a year, and I was like, oh shit. But it was just such a bizarre, like, oh, everybody's waiting for the laughter. Like I haven't heard that noise in a long time.
Yeah. It's been years since I've heard the sound of laughter.
It's weird. Like there's a lot of stuff that they're kind of like going back on, right? Like football's a fucking mess now because everyone like they won't do it in a bubble. So the entire Tennessee Titans team is like, we got a bunch of positive tests, and it's like that's a mess. Right. These things don't exist within a bubble.
Oh no, how could this possibly happen? Who could have predicted that?
Yeah, weird.
Occur?
We're playing a sport where we're just spitting in each other's mouths. I don't understand how this happened. So it's like things are falling apart like that. Then you look at the NBA, they had their whole weird bubble season, but it was all in the bubble and it worked really well. The weird half step between that has been, and sorry to bring this up on the show, professional wrestling has been such a weird, they have had crowds. I watched a whole weekend of shows in Indianapolis.
Well,
it was a whole weekend of stream shows from like a gym armory in Indianapolis. And it was like, everyone was tested. Everyone was like, no temperatures, no problems or whatever. And it was like, death match, get slammed through tables, a guy jumped off a balcony through a guy that was set up on doors, light tube breaks. It was like insane. And you're going, well, they can't do this, but I guess they can. So
what are you going to do? Are you going to stop them? I don't think so.
Yeah, right. Hell no.
Yeah.
They're hitting each other with light tubes. What the fuck?
Isn't Vince McMahon like an associate of the White House? Isn't he like homies?
Yes.
Like they like.
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep.
McMahon's are.
It's a weird, they have a weird labor issue where their employees are not employees, they're independent contractors and they sign these contracts and it's a whole thing. And we don't need to get into it here because nobody knows what I'm saying. And that's fine. I understand. But, I just wanted to bring up that professional wrestling has had live crowds for some time now.
Weird.
And it's really strange. Yeah. It's really strange because it's such a physical.
It seems irresponsible.
Right. There's a contact. Yeah. It seems like it, but then talking to a couple of these guys, they're flying cross country. They're tested before they leave. They're tested when they get there, and not like just like temperature check, like full on
test.
Like stab the thing in my brain, like full on tested. And then they're like within this bubble for like a short period. And there have been problems where some people have tested positive and then they don't come to the shows. So they have to like change the writing. It's really bizarre, but it's like, of all the things to have it working for this long, professional wrestling.
I will say in chat, Tim Question says that they've had a bunch of outbreaks though.
They have. In WWE, there have been a lot of outbreaks. There have been a bunch of issues in the Performance Center, which is a gym where like all the trainees go in Florida. But then in AEW, there have been outbreaks that are not related to any of the wrestlers that are going there, it's all been like familial or friend ties when they go back home. And when they learn about, hey, I might have come in contact with someone who may have come in contact with someone, they don't fly down to the show. It's crazy. There haven't been any like big outbreaks in that structure of AEW, which is a great Warner Media partner.
But the crowds, someone in the chat said the crowds haven't been actually full. Are they just like sparse?
No, it's like if you watch some of these NFL games, or I guess now that you'll see it probably with baseball with the NLCS or ALCS, they're selling limited, they're calling them pods, which are, you have to buy a bundle of 4 tickets and then they stack you together with you and the 3 other people, like your friends or whoever you're going with, that you've been tested, and you just stay in like these small groups, and then they spread the small groups throughout the entire stadium.
That makes sense.
So it's been very weird, but it works. I guess. I don't know.
Meanwhile, did you see that photo that was taken at a sporting event in New Zealand this past weekend? Where
it was a full stadium.
Yeah,
full
stadium was
yeah.
full, no masks, no social distancing.
Because it's gone again, right? They
COVID
had
there.
Cases, I think they were free, and then they had cases, and now it's COVID free again.
Yep.
Because
the White House has more COVID than the entire country of New Zealand.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did they figure out how that guy got it again, or got it? How he used it?
Was
it like through food?
I don't remember.
I thought it was like some type. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I had read that it was like food that had been obviously like come into New Zealand, had like some trace of it or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I could be talking on my ass, so feel free to ignore me. I think I just read that in one article.
Fine. This is it's a podcast. This is not a news forum, so I think I'll let you slide on that one, Barbara.
Man, thank you for saying that, because some people forget that sometimes.
Yeah. Those people are dumb as hell. So whatever. This is a podcast where we're just fucking around for about an hour, guys.
I know we talked about SNL like at this point 10 minutes ago, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention how fucking awesome Jim Carrey is as Joe Biden. Did you guys see that? Did you see that skit?
Yeah.
I mean,
and if there's any reason, if for some reason you don't have a reason to vote for Biden, if you want to see more Jim Carrey in your life, like that, to me, it's like here's a good one on top of everything else. But if you want to see more Jim Carrey, like I thought
that their opening bit, like referencing the Jeff Goldblum movie The Fly, was a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why they went with A Fly, but I was like, The Fly, like. Are they just targeting people my age now? My age and older?
Yeah, it's a little dated,
who the
that
fuck
one.
has seen The Fly? Like, what Gen Z person's like, oh yeah, The Fly. I love that.
Man, I just love Jim Carrey. He's like one of my favorite all-time comedians, and getting to see him back on SNL was a real treat. So
you're just happy to see Canadians out there, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, we got to get in where we can, okay?
I watched the other day. I watched Night of the Living Dead for the first time in probably 15 or 20 years.
That's the first one, right?
Yeah, it's like the original one from like 1968, and that movie holds up. Like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's an older movie. It's like 52 years old now, but it's like it's still a solid movie. It's like an hour and 35 minutes or something. It's like totally fine, totally enjoyable.
Yeah, it's slow, but not in like a plotting, boring way. It's just slow in a way where nothing is flashing on your screen every 10 seconds.
True.
So just put your phone upside down for a little while and then go like, oh, this is okay. I can, my attention span can watch this. I like this.
Yeah, it's good. I was, I guess, like thinking about being in quarantine and lockdown. It's made me think a lot about like zombie movies. And I was like, maybe I should watch some zombie movies. Like I should watch like the original. So I went back. I was like, I'm gonna watch Night of the Living Dead. The last time I saw it, I think, was a screening at the old original Draft House that was downtown, and it was like a midnight screening. They were gonna show it, and I was there watching it, and then all of a sudden, like a few minutes into the movie, all of a sudden the movie was upside down, and it was like way later in the film. I was like, what just happened? And then like the projection went off. And then like the lights came up a bit, and the projectionist, like from the top, from his little window, yells out like, "Whoever sent us this reel decided it'd be funny to splice the wrong reel in upside down halfway, during the reel change. Like, I'm gonna have to go ahead and straighten all the film out and rerun it and cut it all back together. So it's gonna be a bit. So we like just sat there for like 30.
It takes forever.
Yeah, 30, 40 minutes. You had to run all the film out and just like recut it all together. But it's like, fuck, it's midnight. I'm at the draft house watching Night of the Living Dead. Like, I'm just gonna order some more beer. No big deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not a problem.
Did you get a refund or anything?
Nah.
Yeah, right.
It's not their fault. What am I gonna do? Be an asshole about it? They still showed the movie. It was fine.
That's good.
Was that the OG draft house on like Colorado?
Yeah.
I got to go to the last night, and I have 2 of their theater seats in my house.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, they gave you like a little wrench. You walked like a food pairing and like a wine thing, and I was like 19, and I shouldn't. I was totally legal, and I went to this.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Cool. Anyways, they just suggested a wine pairing to everybody.
Everyone got it. And I didn't have any, but they give you a little retracking. They give you a little wrench, and you just were allowed to take as many seats as you wanted. Mm-hmm. So I have a couple of them.
It would be funnier if they didn't tell you could take seats, and you were just like, "Yeah, I just took them."
Set a wrench.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Stop me?
Yeah.
I know
cool.
we're winding down and we're almost there, but what are you guys gonna do for Halloween?
Nothing.
I bought a bag of candy and I've been slowly powering through it this week.
That's
and
definitely
like
not.
Give out,
nope.
Like I'm gonna give out all the little Hershey's. I'm gonna give out all the little Hershey's to kids that don't exist. I'm just gonna throw them in the trash.
What are you gonna do for Halloween? Is eat all the candy before Halloween? That's
what I do every year. That's what I do every year.
Dude, I don't know.
This is.
I mean, I feel like the responsible thing is to not give out candy to people because people shouldn't be going out from house to house. It's like, that's a great way to spread stuff to people.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll set a candy dish inside my door, and I'll go outside and ring my own doorbell and open the door and just reach in and grab the candy and eat it outside.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
We've had in previous years we've had some weird trick-or-treaters, so I'm not even like playing with them this year. Like one year we had a lady show up at like 10:30, a grown lady in a pirate outfit on the phone, and she was still on the phone and she goes, "Hold on one second," and then just held the bag out. I gave her like a handful of Starburst and she split. And then last year a girl just knocked on the door and asked for a glass of water. She's like,
"That's the trick, not the treat."
She's like, "I'm thirsty. Can I have a glass of water?" And I was like, well, yeah, I'll be back. And I had to find a glass, find a plastic cup to give her so she could go on the road.
God, that's so weird. I'll just never forget what happened last year for Halloween. So I have a doorbell that has like a camera on it, so I could see when people are at the front door. Trevor and I were out of town to celebrate my brother's wedding, and stupidly. Wow, the irony of me saying stupidly, we left our front porch light on, which, usually indicates you're home. We should have turned it off. Mm-hmm. But we also left a light inside the house on so that, because we were going to be out of town for over a week and we wanted, to pretend people were home just for safety. So basically the entire night of Halloween, I was just watching my doorbell camera as kids would come up, ring the doorbell, stand there with their bags, and then just the saddest, there was one kid who must have been 2.5 or 3 in the cutest little costume, rings the bell, just standing there, is all excited. His mom's standing a few feet behind him, waiting. And she's like, "Go ring the bell. And he's standing there waiting and no one's coming. And he's looking around and she goes, "I guess they're not home." And he goes, "Okay." And he turns around and walks away. And me and Trevor are just watching this oh my God, no, I should have left candy for them. This is horrible. I hate this. So looking forward to doing that again this year.
All right.
On that note, let's all wrap up so we can go get our Halloween plans taken care of and make sure we don't leave our lights on stupidly. In case we're going to be out of town. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye.